Hello, and welcome to this evening's rather unusual episode of Salmon's Pizzeria and our Scottish Championship roundup. Unfortunately, my other guests, Callum and Aidan, couldn't make it tonight. So, unfortunately for you all, I will be your host for this evening's episode. Tonight, we will look over and discuss all of the weekend's championship fixtures. Starting off, we will discuss fellow championship roundup contributor Aidan's Green Up Morton against Ayr United under the Friday night lights at Capello. It was also live on BBC Scotland. Then we will discuss my beloved team. I wouldn't really say beloved, to be honest, because that's going a bit too far. But we'll discuss Partick Thistle's match with fellow championship roundup contributor Callum's Raith Rovers at Firhill. Then we will discuss Falkirk against Airdrie at the Falkirk Stadium, Hamilton Accies against Livingston at the Super Steel Stadium, otherwise known as New Douglas Park, and that's all. That's what I will always call it, because I've had about five or six different name changes to their stadium, so it's always New Douglas Park for me. But then we'll have, last but certainly not least, Queen's Park versus Dunfermline at the National Stadium, Hampden. So, to kick us off, we'll discuss the first championship fixture of this weekend, which saw Green Up Morton take on Ayr United at Capello. This ended in a 1-1 draw. The match started fairly end-to-end, I thought, with both sides having chances, but they were fairly easy for both keepers at either end to save them. It was a host, Morton, however, who came closest, however, as Michael Garrity cut into the box onto his right and fired a shot just past the post. Just after this, it would be the hosts who took the lead on the 37th minute, as Ian Wilson would latch onto a header from a free kick and fire it past the Ayr keeper Liam Russell to take his side a goal ahead going into the break. It wouldn't take long, however, for the visitors to equalise, as George Oakley, former Morton man, he came back to haunt his former side. This came for a well-taken free kick, crossed into the box from Jay Henderson on the right-hand side, and the former Morton man was on the receiving end to get the visitors to the equaliser. And going by his celebrations, he seemed to enjoy that one. I don't think Aidan or his former Morton fans enjoyed that one, however. If that was a Thistle fan celebrating like that, then I wouldn't enjoy it either. I would probably have a few things to say about it myself. But anyway, both sides did try to get a winner, with Morton having a couple of chances, but nothing really outstanding. In particular, Lyle had a shot that was just well wide of the goal. Ayr perhaps were closest towards the end, as they had chances of their own to snatch a winner, but on the whole I felt a draw was the right result at the end of the day. So then from one 1-1 draw to another, we now go on to my beloved team. Again, I wouldn't say beloved. Partick Thistle taking on Callum's side, Raith Rovers at Firhill, as just like the Morton and Ayr match on Friday night, the shares were spoiled. It wouldn't take long for Thistle to take the lead, as a lovely well-worked goal involving lovely interplay. I thought it was a fantastic goal, man. Involved interplay between Scott Robinson and Logan Chalmers before Logan Chalmers played a lovely, fucking beautiful ball onto the beautiful head of Brian Graham, who would send it past the Rovers keeper Dabrowski's left-hand side into the bottom corner. After that, Raith did try to grab an equaliser roughly 6 minutes later, as Jameson cut into the left-hand side, forcing our keeper Miles Roberts into action with a great save to deny the Rovers man. After this, though, and I generally don't think Callum will mind me saying this, it was pretty much one-way traffic for us, as we had at least 3 or 4 really good chances to extend our lead, most notably just before half-time, as Brian Graham hit the post with a lovely curled shot. And as half-time came, I felt inspired by a performance. I generally thought it's probably the best I've seen us play this season, and I've missed a few games due to work and whatnot, but I thought we were absolutely fantastic. I thought Logan Chalmers was really impressive in the first half, probably his best performance of the season, I would say. But ideally, but as well, equally, I was frustrated that we were only a go ahead into the break. Going into the break, I felt it was a game of taking our chances and whatever. But I didn't. I thought heading into the break there was only one team that looked like scoring again, and it was us. However, the second half, it was a completely different story, I felt. Rafe looked to grab the equaliser on the 56th minute as they had a chance again from Jameson, as Thistle keeper Roberts was called into action once more as he got down on his left hand side, fairly well to deny the Rovers man. Then on the 68th minute, Dylan Easton would fire visitors level with a genuinely outstanding free kick from 20 yards out. And I remember I tweeted this on Saturday as well. Probably one of the best free kicks I've ever seen, if not the best free kick I've ever seen in the flesh. And I've not seen many free kicks, to be honest, but I think one that comes close to it was Blair Spittle scoring for us against St Mirren in a League Cup game, or a Betfred Cup as it was called back then, Betfred Cup group stage game in 2017. He scored an absolute belter of a free kick. If any St Mirren fans or Thistle fans remember that goal. But that's the only goal I can think that comes close to this. It was fantastic. It left Miles Roberts absolutely no chance, and it just went right into the left hand corner, postage stamp. As soon as he was lining up, as I was seeing him line up for it in the stands, when I seen him lining up for it, I knew it was going in before he even hit the ball. I knew it was going in. And then for a solid 5 or 10 minutes later, after that, we generally couldn't get out of our own half. I thought Rafe's pressing was absolutely fantastic. I thought the right back was, I thought he was really good. I think his name's Dapo or Dabo. I think Callum will correct me on that, but I thought he was really good. I was really impressed by him. I thought he kept Fitzpatrick really quiet when he came on. When Fitzpatrick came on, but yeah, I thought he was really good. We did have a few chances to grab Llewellyn, but again, there was nothing really to get excited about. I think there was a ball, kind of low driven ball into the box by Fitzpatrick when he after he came on, but again, there was nothing really to get excited about. I had my heart in my mouth, fucking for the last 20 minutes of that game. As he piled on the pressure and held us in our own kind of half for most of it. I left the game feeling really fucking disappointed that we didn't carry on from our first half performance. As I said, I felt we could have had at least 3 or 4 before the break, but equally I was relieved to hear the full-time whistle, to be honest. I did feel on the whole this was a missed opportunity by us and 2 points dropped. I thought it was a point gain for Rovers. I felt and even speak to Rovers fans ourselves, but again I felt they could have won it in the end. So, but I think they were kind of happy with the point, to be honest, considering how bad their form away from home is. They felt it was a good point. They certainly would take it. On the other hand, I felt more kind of disappointed about it, but as what it is. These games happen. These things happen, and it is what it is. You go again, don't you, the next week, I suppose. Next, we have league leaders Falkirk versus Airdrie Onions at Falkirk Stadium. This saw the hosts come out as victors with a 2-0 win over the Lanarkshire visitors and sees Falkirk go 6 points clear of second place Livingston and extended and beaten home run to 25. I think that is an incredible run of form to be in, and arguably it is a title, a league win. It is a league winning run of form. Obviously, I know again it is early days and it is Falkirk we're talking about, but and I don't mean to put the boot in there when I say that. But I feel, as again, there's a lot of football to be played. Anything can happen in the Championship. Is a fucking batshit crazy league. So, I feel on the whole, again, it's early days and there is a lot of football still to be played. But Falkirk do look the favourites, I think, to win the league. But anyway, Ethan Ross would come close to open the scoring, forcing Kieran right into action, before eventually Falkirk fullback Keelan Adams would put the hosts a goal up from a corner, which Airdrie just did not deal with it well at all. and it felt like the Falkirk man who slammed it past the Diamonds keeper to make it 1-0. Kieran Wright is also ex-Thistle, by the way. Don't mean to make it all about us, but anyway. Adams now makes it 2 goals for him in 2 games. Apparently he was waiting for his first goal all season, and then he scores 2 goals in 2 games, so that's absolutely fantastic for him. Heading into the break, Falkirk were unlucky to not go in more than a goal ahead. If it wasn't for Kieran Wright, Airdrie would have been about 5 or 6 down, and I'm not taking a piss here. Kieran Wright, if it wasn't due to Kieran Wright's heroics, Airdrie would have been absolutely hammered. It would probably been another 6-0 to Falkirk. And then particularly pulled off a fantastic save in the second half from a Calvin Miller shot that was destined to head top left corner. And Falkirk then would finally extend the lead to 2 through Calvin Miller. As fullback, Keelan Adams would fire a well-executed low ball into the box for Calvin Miller to slot the ball past the Airdrie keeper. It was a really well-worked goal on the right-hand side, involving the aforementioned fullback and Aidan Nisbet before Keelan Adams fired across for Calvin Miller to score. Again, Falkirk had their chances to extend their lead even further with a couple of chances, particularly through Even Ross, but was unsuccessful in their efforts. Airdrie would, however, be very disappointed not to pull a goal back with their best chance of the game so far, as Ben Wilson saw his header cannon off the crossbar. Callum Morrison would have a chance to grab a third for Falkirk, but would fire it over the bar. McKenna would also have a chance right at the end to grab a third, but saw his shot just go past the post in what was a fairly routine and comfortable victory for the league leaders. The fourth and penultimate game we will discuss is Hamilton versus Livingston at New Douglas Park, which saw the second place West Lothian side run out 3-1 winners and take the 3 points back home from Lanarkshire. Livingston had most of the chances before opening the scoring and would come closest with Pittman hitting the crossbar from 5 to 10 yards out as the ball was cut back to him in the box, and I thought he really should have scored it. Aki's did have a chance, but Livy keeper Pryor would get down well to deny Henderson from taking the lead for the host himself. It would, as mentioned, be the visitors who took the lead though, through Stevie May, which was a great counter-attack under a heavy Hamilton press. Lewis Smith fired it across the goal, and Steve May was at the back post to bundle the goal over the line and give the Lions the lead after 40 minutes. However, Aki's would equalise almost immediately after, as Kevin O'Hara nodded the ball home from a great cross from the right-hand side to put the hosts level heading into the break. The visitors would put Livingston back into the lead after the second half, as Lewis Smith would not once but twice, and that's according to the Livy. I'm quoting the Livy TV fucking commentators here. He would chop not once but twice in the box before firing the ball past the Aki's keeper's left-hand post to hunt his former side. Aki's would nearly equalise once again, as Pryor would pull off a fantastic stop to keep the lead, to keep the visitors out before leading to a bit of a shamash before they then eventually gathered the ball. It would be one-way traffic after this, as the visitors could and should have been 2 goals to the good, as Stephen Kelly had about 2 chances to extend Livingston's lead, but he just couldn't finish his dinner. Aki's would then have a chance to bring it to a Desmond, a 2-2, but Henderson's shot was fired well over the bar before Livy's Andy Winter would seal all 3 points for the visitors, as Tete Yenge finished a well-worked move for Winter, all created by himself, before Winter would slam it home. Aki's would be gutted, I think, not to come away with at least a point, and should have taken their chances when they took them. However, I felt overall Livy did deserve to take all 3 points back across the road to Livingston. The fifth and final match we'll be discussing this evening will be Queen's Park versus Dunfermline Athletic at the National Stadium, Hampden Park, which the hosts would eventually run out 2-1, 2-1 winners over the 5 visitors. Both sides would start the match fairly evenly, but I felt they lacked any real cutting edge going forward, with chances either being skewed wide or blown over the park and whatnot. It would be on the 31st minute when the Spiders took the lead with a fantastic bit of play on the edge of the left-hand side of the box by Zach Rudden, who sent the Pars number 16 for a £5 Hampden hot dog. And again, I can't stress this enough. It's £5 for a fucking hot dog at Hampden. That is a disgrace. But anyway, he then got it back for Ryan Duncan to put the ball in the back of the net. Queen's Park were unlucky not to extend their lead, to be honest, but they were denied by the Pars keeper with a really good fast reaction save and made another stop not long after that. The second half came, and Dunfermline would have the ball in the back of the net, but Lewis McCann's goal would not stand, as it was disallowed for, I think, what appeared to be a handball. I'm not entirely sure. There was only one replay of it on, I think it was Pars TV I watched the highlights on. I can't really remember. I think it was Pars TV. There was only one kind of replay for it, which I felt was weird. I thought they would have showed more for it, but I think it was a handball. It looked to have struck Lewis McCann's hand. But yeah, again, there was, not that it didn't stand. Soon after that, Dunfermline would then have a penalty claim, as the ball did appear to hit the Queen's Park player's hand, but the referee wasn't moved by it whatsoever. And he allowed play to continue, and this led to a chorus of boos and cheering from the Dunfermline fans, and quite rightly so, to be honest. I felt if that wasn't given and it was Thistle that wasn't given for, I'd be pretty annoyed myself. Dunfermline would then grab an equaliser on the 61st minute through Matty Todd. 61st minute, through Matty Todd, as the ball was cut back to him from Lewis McCann before the Pars number 10 slammed it home past the host keeper. They were unlucky not to go in front, as the Pars number 2 latched onto a free kick into the box, which saw it go past the post. The hosts would then take the lead once more in the 72nd minute, as Jack Turner smashed the ball home from the edge of the box from about maybe 18 yards out, I would say, to put the host back in front with less than 20 minutes to the end. Dunfermline did have a few chances to draw back level, but it was to no avail, and the host would run out and be victorious in what was all in all a poor day at the office for Dunfermline, I would say. So yeah, as another week of our beloved and equally batshit crazy Scottish Championship draws to a close, the league looks as follows. Falkirk are the league leaders, sitting in first, 6 points clear on 32 points. Livingston are second behind Falkirk, sitting on 26 points. Ayr are third on goal difference with 22 points, which makes Queen's Park fourth, 5 goals behind the Honest Men. Thistle are in fifth, outside the playoffs on 20 goals, just 2 points behind both Ayr and Queen's Park. Accies are in sixth on goal difference, 5 points behind Thistle, who sit on 15 points but are 2 goals better than Raith Rovers. Raith Rovers are in seventh, also in 15 points. Greenock Morton are 8th, sitting on 11 points, 4 points behind Raith Rovers. Dunfermline are in the relegation playoff spot, and I think they don't really look that good this season. I don't think whenever I've played against Thistle, whenever I've seen them play against us, they've not really looked good, to be honest. But they are sitting on 9 points, 2 behind Morton, in 9th, and Airdrie are rooted to the bottom in 10th, 4 adrift from Dunfermline. And as we look on to next week, the fixtures are as follows. Ayr take on Queen's Park down at Somerset Park. Raith Rovers host Greenock Morton and Kirkcaldy at Starks Park. Thistle take on Hamilton at Firhill. Livingston host Falkirk in a second versus first clash at the Almond Vale Stadium. And finally, Dunfermline play host to the Airdrieonians in a basement battle at East End Park. No games are on BBC, and everyone are playing on Saturday at 3 o'clock. And it's wild as well, because It's first versus second, third versus fourth, fifth versus sixth, seventh versus eighth, and ninth versus 10th. And as an autistic man, that pattern that is so good. But anyway, enough about me. So thank you very much for listening to this week's episode and tuning in to this week's episode of Salmon's Pizzeria's Championship Roundup. I've been your host, Kieran Ashton. As I have been your host, Kieran Ashton, for tonight. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast YouTube channel, as well as checking us out on Spotify and following us on Instagram and Twitter, or X, or whatever you want to call it. Let's be real, it's Twitter. I don't know who the fuck's calling it X. But hopefully we'll be back with a full lineup next week. But we will see you all next week. Thank you very much for tuning in once again, and goodbye.